apologize for... it's so tight. Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome, welcome if you're coming from Walker or whatever this is. Welcome to our Walker Independence episode review. Hope you're doing well, staying safe out there. If you're unaware, my name is Joe. I run ActionX's show called What's in the Two, where we review things in the world of television, normally episode by episode reviews of shows that are on the air that we choose to review. We have been reviewing the main show, Walker, for the past 2 years. We just started our season 3 episode reviews yesterday, so please go check that out if you have not yet. But most likely, if you're watching Walker Independence, you care about Walker. So you're pretty much already in the boat, so you already probably know of me. But now here we are, Walker Independence, a brand new show in this universe. The Walker universe is now the Walkerverse. And to be honest, again, if you're unaware of me, I'm always honest. I have my own style of doing things. I really do. I watched the first episode, the pilot of Walker Independence, just now. Obviously, of course, I'm doing a review, but I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And this is not my new hat, because I decided, so this is just for fun thing. This is the hat I use for the Walker reviews, but this is the first cowboy hat-ish I bought years ago. And my friend, when I went to Texas, gave me this one. So this is a more stiffer one, kind of like of the olden days. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use this instead. It's a reverse conundrum. However, what isn't a reverse conundrum is this show. For me, I thought it was all right. I'm sorry if that sounds like so weak, because normally I'm very energetic when it comes to spinoffs. If you're unaware of me, I love I mostly like the idea of spinoffs, because I like it when a universe is so successful that they want to expand it, and there'll be crossover and new ideas and make the universe even more alive. This is one of those cases where it's not really something you could cross over with, because it's a prequel. It's all the way back in I think it's the 1880s, around there. So it's over a century before the main show. So it's don't expect any sort of major cameos. Really don't. You'll be stretching there. Or major cameos in terms of the characters from the other shows appearing. Unless you get a photograph or something like that, And the only problem with a prequel that can get to the weirdness of the problem with prequels is that most of the time you kind of already know how the story's going to end. Where in this case for Walker Independent, we know that our main character, Abigail Walker, is eventually going to spawn a lineage of Walkers that's going to lead to our present day Walkers. Hoyt Rawlins, which we know already from the main show, who sadly R.I.P. Spoilers on that front, but you probably know that already. He will eventually spawn his own line in his own lineage, and you have the Davisons as well, which were in the recent season of Walker. And generally, this is the story of these families and how I guess their feud kind of began a long time ago in a very weird way. This mostly feels kind of a weird prequel hybrid spinoff of the conflicts we've seen in the first 2 seasons of Walker. That's kind of how I'm viewing it as. And honestly, how they pitch it, and again, I'm only reviewing 1 episode. We have a whole season to go. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, it's tough for me to see how they're going to stretch this out into show. I can see it, but it's kind of difficult to see it. It doesn't feel much like something of substance. And I understand, when it comes to old westerns, because this is absolutely trying to be a western, modern western. They're trying to do something telling it in a much more long form, more serialized format. And I'm pretty sure there have been others before. I've just never seen it before. This is one of the this is my first true western show I have seen in my day and age. And the scenery looks amazing. The representation looks great, and it's an accurate representation of the time period. So you got your saloon, you got your hotel/hostel, you got your sheriff's office, your random miscellaneous businesses there. But it is trying to be a little bit modern. It's aware of our modern day trope, but they're still respecting this is a period piece. They're trying to respect in that boundary, and they're making a couple quick gives of how things will be in the future. I will respect that. But overall, for me, it's kind of hard and a little confusing, because again, if you want to clarify, because I did review all of the first season of Walker and the second season of Walker. the main gist of this idea came from the very weird, very close relationship between Grandma Walker and Hoyt from our mainline timeline in Walker, where they were really close. And yeah, you could just say that, oh, Grandma Walker, that was like kind of her third son. They were always close. And I can get that, but they were acting really too chummy in my view. Like there was a little bit more that was going on. This kind of is trying to make it more samey in terms of like, okay, they're both the same age now, or close enough to like be the same age. But they're not even hinting at that right now. But again, as you can probably guess, like there'll probably be something down the road, most likely, speaking as well as for me, not for me in general, the Daversons, which were like the main primary rivalry going on in the second season. They're trying to explain that origins as well, and from what I remember in season 2, like the Daversons had land, and then the Walkers, there was like that bit of land dispute. Like, did the Walkers originally own the land? Did the Daversons own the original land? It's very. It gets very murky, the history, and I guess this is the point where like it actually started. This is the moment where the Walker name and the Daverson name collide, and it's still like, how does this really happen? What is the story here? And the only good thing is that Walker in the main show, it doesn't give you that answer. It definitely does not give you the answer, because like as you go older in history, it tends to get misconstrued or like misrecorded. So like we will know what would actually happen, but in reality, when it comes to in the show, they'll probably never get to know unless the writers really force it. Which, will it actually happen? We don't know. We honestly don't. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But right now, in terms of like just what the pilot's presenting me, I thought it was okay. I think the cast is all right. The characters are intriguing enough. The overall premise is kind of like, again, it's trying to be that mystery theme thing, and but so far it's not pulling me. It's not like really. If I wasn't reviewing the show, I would be a little bit finicky. I'm like, am I gonna watch this week to week as a casual viewer? I might not. I might let a few episodes build up and binge it out at the end. But considering I am reviewing it, I will be seeing how this goes. I really would. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not saying it didn't leave a great impression on me. It did not, and I wasn't blown away by it. There was certain things that were missing, and it could be just because it was the pilot, so like they can't introduce everything they want to do. They can't really like flesh it out more because they're gonna have to tell it out through multiple episodes. But again, this is a pilot, so it's like you're trying to like really pitch to people. This is a show that you want to know, and don't get me wrong, the curiosity factor is there, but there's still something left to be desired at the end of the day. So let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about our premiere episode of Walker Independent. Also, if you don't know what a Butcher recap is, it basically means I'm recapping the entire episode, and I'm most likely going to be forgetting some scenes. I'm going to be putting stuff out of order, so I apologize if I basically butchered the episode. I apologize. That's the whole point of it. We begin in somewhere in Texas, I guess. I'm guessing it's like Texas, rural Texas. We have a bunch of colonists being in the wagons and the horses. I don't know how to properly say it. They're traversing the road. They're following somewhere, and then we have one lone wagon which is stopped somewhere. It's Abigail Walker and her husband. They're about to engage in coitus, because that's what they used to call it back in the day. They're about to have some love making in a wagon, and just part of their journey to get to Independence, which is a brand new, still relatively new town that Abigail's husband is about to become the new sheriff for. It's a new beginning for them. It's a way for them to like start fresh, as well as to kind of maintain control. They're hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, and I just went to Boston months ago. I should know how to say this, but I apologize. They were locals there, but the crime there has gotten too rough. It's a cruel place. The corruption's pretty bad, and they're both good people, but they don't deserve to be there. So they say, we're packing up our things. We're going to be the top of the brass in a brand new town. We're going to be able to transform it from the inside out, make it the town that we want it to be. And they welcome the opportunity. Abigail's a little bit on the fence about it, considering the fact that she had a decent life in Boston, and she's only doing this for her husband. And but it's the power of love. It's keeping them going. It's like once they get settled in, they'll eventually, Abigail will have a schoolhouse to run. her husband will be running the town with a brand new leadership style. It's going to be great for them. It's a brand new beginning for them. After their coitus making section, Abigail plays the piano a little bit, just sings a little song. Not singing, just plays a little song while her husband expresses his love for her, and that they belong together and all that sort. Ironically, on the season 3 premiere of Walker, which came out just before this, ironically, I'm pretty sure there was probably some piano reference in the first 2 seasons, but August played the piano, and I was like, that's kind of symbolic, like linking the 2 shows together. That's a little sweet, little touching. Not sure if that was on purpose or not, but for me it was. They hear some noise outside. The husband goes outside with his gun to check in on it. At first, he doesn't find anything. Abigail eventually comes out as well to see what's going on. She hears gunshots. Her husband's been shot. He's some other gun shooter is across the way. She can't fully see his face, but he shot. I don't know why I'm not able to talk. I don't know why. He fires shots at him. He dies. Abigail sees the whole thing. He's about to shoot her as well. He misses, but Abigail pretends she did get shot. The entire wagon blows up into flames, and the gun shooter leaves, leaving Abigail holding in her feelings to the fact that she just witnessed her husband die. Her entire life was in that wagon, and it's all basically gone. She goes to go hug him, goes to be with him, but he's gone. The man's far gone. She eventually starts walking throughout the desert, but with no horse, no anything else. She just starts walking. She collapses in the middle of the desert because of her injuries. The natives find her. They bring her back into their village. They heal her up. There's this one individual who manages to communicate to her. It's I forgot his name. By the way, another thing you should know about me is that when it comes to new shows or when we come back from a break, I do forget some names or I don't know some names. So I apologize. I will remember them as we go along with the show. So bear with me as always. I will eventually get that straight away. I want to say his name is not Caliban. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not going to try. So he's the main communicator between them and her, because he actually knows how to speak English, while the other natives are speaking their native tongue. He just explained to her she had some pretty serious injuries, and the natives, the elders used their healing sources to kind of bring her back to normal. She's still in some pain, but she's able to operate again. The elders already want her out. She's now welcome here. She's an outsider. He volunteers to drop her off at the nearby town of Independence so that she can have a decent way to start anew or something like that. Abigail's not really speaking much about where she's coming from and stuff like that. She's just spoken to the fact that, me and my husband were supposed to go to Independence. He was supposed to be the new sheriff. We were supposed to start our new life there. They don't care about that. He just drops her up there. And they bid farewell. Abigail heads into the town. Again, this is a real town. This is not a set or anything. This is actually a real town they build in the middle of in Texas. It looks really cool. It looks really authentic. It definitely looks like something I would appreciate to see in any sort of Western piece. So she looks around, sees kind of the jive of the town already. She runs into a woman who already is asking a bunch of questions because she is new in town. She's the new woman in town, and she's who are you? Where'd you come from? Are you alone? What's your profession? And, Abigail's just not really in the mood to converse right now. She needs to get to the sheriff or the deputy to tell them about the murder, see what they can do, and, get the ball rolling on that. This woman, again, I don't know her name off the bat already, but she's very nice to Abigail. She's very direct, a little funny at times. She's just explained the whole town to her. Here's the saloon, here's the hostels with all the, the prostitutes and all that jazz. And that's all you really need to know about the town. You got the sheriff's office over there, you got the locals, businesses, all that usual sort. She directs Abigail to the sheriff's office. While she's on her way there, meanwhile, I forgot to mention. Meanwhile, across somewhere in the middle of the town, a young, different Hoyt Rawlins is digging his own grave, which I'm like, yep, this is exactly what a Hoyt would probably do at this time of day. Some other person found him probably sleeping with his wife or something, so this is his payback. You're gonna die, you're gonna dig your own grave, and no one's gonna remember you. Hoyt tries to buy as much time as he can, trying to, talk his way out of it. It doesn't really work at first, but Hoyt manages to get him a little bit closer enough to hit him over the head. He gets his gun and escapes. And also a little funny Easter egg is that he names his horse Cordell, which I'm like, okay, that's a little bit too tongue-in-cheek, I guess. I don't know. It's a little too tongue-in-cheek, but whatever. We're just moving on with it. Meanwhile, yeah, so, but they intercept while he's in town. He's a little bit drunk already, or acting drunk. Trying to woo Abigail at first, but Abigail's not really having any of that. She's just trying to get to the deputy right away. They briefly hold hands, but that was just merely a ploy for Holt to take her ring, which he does successfully do so. She arrives at the sheriff's office. She meets the deputy. I was about to explain the entire matter to him and, all that sort, but she's interrupted when she sees the new sheriff roll into the building, and she's curious, like, new sheriff? And it's basically the guy who killed her husband. And she's like, traumatized because she remembers the goatee, the mustache, the look, and yeah, that's definitely a match to him. And, she's just flabbergasted on what really to do, because in reality, yes, she probably knows, like, this is probably the man that murdered her husband. But keep in mind, there is no proof. And also, it's her word over the sheriff, as well as, she'll say this later in the episode, but she's the new woman in town. No one knows her, and she has no credibility. And also, he's the new sheriff in town. So it's like, who are they going to believe? The new woman or the guy with the badge? It's kind of point and dry, and, like, so she really has no place to, like, accuse him right now, or, like, threaten the accusation, or even bring it up, because, like, she knows she'll get into, like, some sort of issue she does. So she quiets down, she backs away, and, she notices that her ring is gone, so she goes to look for Hoyt, who's about to use it to gamble in a little game of poker. Which, again, it just showcases that no one likes Hoyt, that every time he shows into town, he just is a nuisance, and he always is not welcome there. Another guy was about to kill him, but he manages to, like, get the drop on him, but manages to get away unscathed. Abigail runs into him. She slaps him right away. I have a feeling there's going to be a common thing between them, just, the slapping. It'll be fun. Hoyt instantly gives back her ring, because, like, he's not going to deal with any problems right now, and, he doesn't need that type of pressure on him right now. So they both head over to the local hotel / the hostel. While he's there, Hoyt runs into, like, one of his old lovers, someone he casually hooks up with whenever he's in town. So he's just asking, where's your brother? And she's like, oh, my brother's out doing some work somewhere. And they say, you know what, let's go one of the empty rooms. Let's go make some love, or coitus, or whatever you want to call it. Leaving Abigail alone. I'm not sure what to do. She looks around. She runs into the nice woman that she ran into before outside of the hostel. She's already getting Abigail acquainted, like, do you have a place to live? This is a hotel, and just giving her, like, all the facts and histories of the town. It's run by a man named Hans. He will eventually be played by the one, the only Mark Sheppard, who played Crowley in Supernatural. So it's all connected still. The Walker Supernatural family, it's all connected. She invites her to come to this little party that's happening in the town. She's like, right now I'm just focusing on trying to find a place to live. And she offers her, like, a room to rent out of here. It's pretty cheap, but she has no job. She has no money. And she's like, well, one of the other individuals that live here, like, he literally just does things around the hotel, and he basically lives here for free. Which she runs into. I forgot his name. I apologize. However, when she sees him, he's doing some laundry work already for some of the people that requested his services, and he has one of the new sheriff's shirts, which has blood, which is an exact location match to where the gun shooter that killed her husband had blood stains on. So she knows absolutely for sure this is the guy who killed her husband. But again, she has no real cooperation. It's really like just stretching for the tea leaves here. So she decides, just in general, just to help him out, just trying to figure out what her next step is. Hoyt is slowly trying to hook up with the girl, and they're catching up a little bit, like where Hoyt has been, what's going on, that this is not kosher between them. They should not be doing this at all. But they don't care. They're just two people that are horny and in love. I guess, I don't know. I guess they are in love. We'll see that later on, but it's still like debatable, so to speak. But this is not the first time they've done this. They're definitely not. There's been some there's definitely history between them. We head outside to the laundromat, and Abigail's still debating what she should do with the shirt. She doesn't do anything. The individual offers to help, to pay her in like a bowl of soup, which I'm like, what? For carrying a bag of laundry, yeah, that's a fair trade. That's a fair trade. So, also she has never heard of egg drop soup, and honestly, that's a really good soup. It's very basic but very good. It fills the spot pretty much. And she very much enjoys it as well. They learn a little bit about each other. This individual comes from China. He knows that the railroad. He came to America because he knew the railroad system was going to be like a really hot commodity. And it's basically the next big thing for them to happen. So he knew he can get rich on that. So he moved down over here for that opportunity. She tells him about Boston, about like she was supposed to have this whole new life here, and then things didn't really turn out the way it seemed. Which again, keep in mind, Abigail's really keeping everything in check. She just lost her husband. She's in a lot of internal pain right now with her injuries, as well as the fact that the person who presumably killed her husband is now in charge of the town she's currently staying at. This is not how she expected life to be. And before she be saying anything, like, she has family back at home. Keep in mind, she's all the way in Texas. She came here by horse and wagon. There's absolutely no way it's as simple as she's just going to walk back to Boston. There's no way that's going to happen. She's alone. She's stuck here. And because, again, this is the one thing about the period piece that I respect, is that she's isolated to this environment. She has no choice but to stay here. She can't go anywhere else. And it's going to work to the benefit of the story. It could also work against her as a character. So we'll see how that all pairs up. But yeah, she's literally stuck here. She has no other choice. There is no plan B here. So she's just thinking what the next step is. After she's finished with the soup, she's just trying to figure out what her next step is, trying to figure out whatever to be done. It also doesn't help that she runs into the deputy who is like humming the song that she was playing with the piano with her husband before his death. So it's still slowly eating at her about like the entire events that have occurred recently. She doesn't really know what to do, so she decides just to head over to the local bank, and she notices Hoyt kind of sticking out a little bit, so she decides to make a risky play. So she heads inside, trying to buy a little time with the tellers while she waits for Hoyt to get in. Hoyt gets in, obviously in mask and everything, holding out the place, asking for the money. Abigail's just trying to tease him along, trying to undermine his like authority as a thief, and eventually just volunteers to be his kidnapped victim. So they do so. They have a little fun, ride along around town, just other random individuals Hoyt trying to avoid. The deputy, and just trying to get away from things pretty quickly. And again, this escape just seems very too clean. I know there's just a sheriff and a deputy in town, but I'm like, this was like a very clean getaway. Okay, one guy would try to shoot Hoyt, but that's about it. They arrive at the outskirts of the town. Abigail's just immediately already slaps him. Again, this is going to be a usual thing between them. I can tell already. When no other person to turn to, Abigail just tells him my husband got killed. I think it's the new sheriff. I need your help to kill him. Basically, he's like, nope, I'm not getting involved in that shit show. I'm really not. He gives him a little information about Sheriff Davidson, that he just rolled into town. His family's been buying up property around the town. Cattle's been going missing. They just presume it's him, but there's nothing really concrete to say about it. But basically, this guy is trying to turn Independence into he's trying to expand it somehow, but in his own way. And Abigail doesn't care about that part. She just wants to avenge her husband, because she knows for a fact this guy killed him and basically ruined her entire life. So she needs his help to do it, but he's like, nah, I got enough problems with this. I don't need a murder charge on my head, so no thank you. So he leaves her over there. However, he doesn't notice that she took one of his guns. So she takes that gun away back. She takes that gun back to Independence. Hoyt meets up with the woman he's been banging / loving, or whatever the case might be. Also, yeah, there was another scene where before Hoyt decided to rob the bank, he runs into the brother of the woman he's banging, and it's kind of serious, the line of work he's in. Like, he's dealing with some personal stuff right now with their family, and Hoyt's trying his best to help out, because that's why I say he generally likes her, his sister, because he wants to earn their respect, and maybe one day. So it's actually pretty serious. He actually does care about it. It's not just hookups or whatever that. It's the fun part of it, I guess, if you want to say it like that. So they meet up at the oak tree near her farm, near her ranch. He's just geeking her up to go to the town tonight, to go to the little soiree, and sing there, because she wants to sing and she wants to perform out in public. Her mom's usually against it, and she doesn't really have a nice dress. Apparently Hoyt, I forgot to mention, he stole one of the dresses while they were trying to make their escape, which I'm like, damn, that had some purpose to it down the road. So he gives it to her, and they decide to head over to town. So the entire town's there. They're putting on like a little talent show. Like everyone gets to perform, everyone gets to like do a little act or something. She gets to sing. Everyone's kind of happy. Abigail arrives there with the gun in hand, already ready to like kill this guy and like bury this motherfucker to the ground. She walks around, runs into like basically everyone she's already had some sort of like contact with, trying to plan out her move to like to kill the sheriff. Hoyt at first is just focused on like his girl, like she does pretty well with her singing. She does a great performance. Everything's going well, and while Hong's played by again the lovely Mark Shepard is busy introducing the next star of the show, as well as kind of giving a little like gunshot salute, I guess, just firing their gunshot and like support and like celebration. Abigail's about to use this opportunity to go and shoot the sheriff. She was close to doing so, but Hoyt stops her, saying that it's not the right time to do this. Like it's just not. Which I'm like, is it not? I mean, you kind of could have ended this pretty easily. I mean, Abigail literally has no life right now. She has nothing to lose. Like literally, she has nothing to lose. Like I know Hoyt. I mean, this is again like the last point I'm saying. Like Hoyt definitely does have feelings for the woman, because he knows that if he insists on this at all, he can never see her again. Like he will be hunted, he will be on the lam. He wouldn't want to put her in that lifestyle, so he will not see her again. And he probably does love her, so like he knows like this is not the right way to do it. And he is expressing that like, yeah, he is a guy from out of town, but considering the fact how very coincidental things have happened, it's most likely than not this guy was also from Boston, so he was following Walker on some reason for whatever background history they have, which Abigail is now privy to that information. So yes, although he probably is guilty of killing him. Sorry about that. There is just right now. There is just really like there is no real foundation for them to make any sort of accusations at the moment. It just isn't. Like he's a crook. She's the new woman in town, and there's nothing they can do right now. But they will eventually find the way to take him down, because whatever he's planning for the town is not the right way to be doing things. So there's probably something even more shady happening. So they got to go figure that out. Even in that same moment, Davison talks to the deputy, saying like, "This is just the beginning. We're going to change Independence to the better. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to make it stronger. We're going to make it better the right way, my way." The next day, Abigail lists Hoyt to take her back to her wagon, to where her husband is sadly still there. They get there. Abigail's already down on her knees, like, crying about her husband. Everything's burned out. There's just like no evidence left of anything. The native that was able to translate for Abby shows up as well, because he was looking for her after the deputy kind of enlists him to like help them find her. They buried the body, saying their line in peace. And this was the one scene, like the ending scene, where I'm like, this seems way too over dramatic for like, this is definitely like TV show state. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a cool moment, it's a cool scene, but guess what? This was a very heavily scripted moment where like she grabs her husband's shotgun, or just his gun, and she's just looking at Independence like, we need to stop Davison. We need to put an end to him as soon as we can, and we're the ones to do it. And I'm just like, again, Hoyt is not 100% sold to that. He knows something fishy's up with him, but it doesn't mean he's going to be his enemy. And the other thing is like, I just rode in here. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. Why am I here? And of course, I'm pretty sure Abigail will eventually convince them to fully join the fold, which will probably happen at some point sooner than later. But this was like the one scene where like I was a little bit iffy by, which was the last scene of the episode. I was iffy by it. Like I was like, I don't know. Like, is there really a story here to tell? Like, do we really need to like stretch this out to 13 episodes? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We don't know. Again, like I always say before with any of my other reviews, is that the writers know better than me. They know how to write the story. So far, they've convinced me to stay along for the ride. Will it actually be an entertaining ride or a worthy ride? We don't know. We'll have to figure out for the rest of the season to find out, because that was it for the pilot episode of Walker Independence. Which is everything I just said before. I thought it was alright. Like again, it was enough to like pull me into this world, have the characters be engaging enough to like keep me invested. But the other downside of it is that like it's just okay. It's not this I'm not trying to say it's groundbreaking. Not every new show that premieres on a network has to be groundbreaking. But remember, you have so much competition nowadays of it's not just cable TV, it's also streaming network that all make very high volumes amount of show. There is a lot of competition out there. There is a lot of options. And yes, what Walker Independence has going for it, like, it is a authentic Western period piece. I get that. I understand that. That is the charm of the show that attracted me to it, that I wanted to see this world. And the characters are engaging enough, but it's not, the story itself has so far not really pulled me in. Like, I really need to know next week what is the next thing we're going to learn. I really need to know. I don't. Like, I will check it out. I will see the show. I will see every episode. But I'm not fully engaged to the point where, like, I need to see this. Like, I can't wait for the next episode. I will see it, but it's just, it's not fully engaging to me. Like, it doesn't leave me like a wow. Like, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good, but that's it. It's good to lure you in, but there's a lot of work for it to do. There's a lot of things they're gonna have to do, like, for me to, like, fully be invested in the show. How will that turn out? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But overall, for me, Abigail seems to be around a character. I forgot to mention, I have Catherine McNamara, one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood right now. She's amazing. Her performance here was all right. I thought she did a pretty good Abigail. Leveling the tone. Like, I will give her praise that, like, she keeping her emotions in check and having to, like, hide the fact that her husband died and that the killer is right in front of her. She can't do anything. She sold that very well. She really did. And I really like the performance there. Hoyt is fun. He's lovable. It's almost akin to the version we saw in Walker, except it's just now in this day and age. There's still a little bit more we need to know about this iteration because there is a slight difference. There's a total change. And we need to find out more about that. The rest of the characters do seem interesting enough for me to, like, be invested in. How does this Sheriff Davidson, end up being the villain? We don't know. But at the end of the day, we're going to find out eventually. But there's a lot more for this world to do to, like, really put its teeth in me. Maybe next episode will be the one for it to be. Maybe it's another episode. We don't know. But for now, Walker Independence is an okay show. It's a good addition. It's a worthy enough entry to the Walkerverse, and I will be seeing more. I'm invested enough to tune in, but I'm not heavily invested. I'm not excited for the next week. It's enough to keep me in, and it's enough to lure you in, but there's a lot more work for it to be done for you to, like, actually be invested into it. But with that being said, I'm gonna give this episode 1.25 thumbs up. Not bad, good, but not great. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the series premiere of Walker Independence? Let's have that conversation down below. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the hopeful first season of Walker Independence. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our Walker Independence episode reviews, we're currently doing the Rookie episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Sunday nights on ABC. We're also doing the Rookie Feds episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on ABC on Tuesday nights. We're also doing DC Stargirl Season 3 episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on the CW every Wednesday night. And we're also doing Walker Season 3 episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Thursday nights on the CW. But if you don't care about Walker Independence, you're in luck. We'll be back next week, Saturday, with a brand new episode review. Because even though Walker and Walker Independence air the same night, Walker's going first on Fridays. Walker Independence on Saturdays, so you have an extra day to watch the episode. And also, I don't like bombarding my feeds with 2 videos a day, so bear with me on that. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode review is live. Please also like, favorite, share if you want to. Please also ring the bell. I think that's the only thing I missed. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Independence Foundation out there, I'll see you all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out. Ow. Damn my forehead.